Well, guys, it's finally happened. The little retro market boom that everybody didn't think was going to fade away has honestly dropped massively. Massively. That's not a word, but I guess we'll go with it. What's up, guys? I will Retro Gamer Dad here. Today we're going to talk about how the graded video game business, market, and stuff like that has really just crashed lately. And I don't know if you guys follow any of his videos, but Karl JOBST has been following this along pretty well, and he was actually one of the first few channels that called out WATA and stuff like that because of some of the shady stuff they were doing and how it was just really like, I don't know. You guys should definitely go check out the video where he was talking about Heritage Auction and how WATA really were hand in hand in this whole thing together, and it was just kind of convenient how these games were selling for so much and how this was all going out. But we'll get out of that and we'll talk more about what's been going on now. So a lot of you know that a while back stuff really went crazy a few years back when the graded games market really took off. Now WATA was selling, copies of sealed 9-point whatever games for thousands, even millions of dollars, guys. And everybody thought they were having gold, thought they were having the best video games possible. And then everybody, was going into their closets. They were going, down in their basements, and they were just digging up everything, thinking that they had, retro gold. So when this I'm gonna tell you right now, this is insane, guys. I knew this was gonna happen. I've talked about this before, whereas in like the trading game or like sports cars and stuff like that, there was a huge boom and everybody was buying so much like sports cars, football and stuff like that. They were grading them, and cars were selling for thousands of dollars and stuff like that. And then they suddenly just became not cool anymore to get. And at some point then too, it almost seemed like the cardboard for stuff like that was honestly not even worth. Wasn't even worth the cardboard it was printed on. So I've watched some of his video, and we're gonna actually jump into Karl's video. A little ways into this so we can see kind of how this stuff has dropped off. Now I'll leave a link to his the video itself and his channel down in the description below if you guys want to check it out personally, and I think you should, because he takes so much time and effort in all his videos and kind of shows you everything that you need to know about it. And personally, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to pull up some of the, he'll explain a little bit more in the video too, but the whole how much some of these games were originally sold for and then resold for, and every once in a while we'll pause it here and there just to kind of talk about what's going on. So I'll go ahead and pull it up right now. Now his video is entitled "The Retro Video Game Market Has Officially Crashed." Now there's a few other channels too that have gone into and talk about this. Like I follow Get the Grade Games. He's huge into grading video games and stuff like that and talks about it all the time. So if you guys are interested in that, now this is, like I said, this is not just a video to talk badly about graded games. I've talked in the past, I'm not very keen on it. I'm not a huge fan of it. But we're all just going to talk in general about it a little bit now, and then keep this going so we can just spread some education on it. But yeah, if you want to get into grading games and stuff like that, make sure you check out Get the Grade Games, because he's very informative on it all and gives you all the information you need to know about it. So right off the back here, let's just go into this a little bit and listen to what this part of the video is about.
With an absolute doozy. Madden NFL is a popular sports series that has been running for over 30 years.
Okay, I wanted to start with this one officially because everybody talks about how sports games aren't worth any money, and that what this one goes for is you're gonna honestly crap your pants. It's insane.
And its first installment came out in 1990 for the Sega Genesis. Often with popular franchises, the first game in the series is highly valued. And in January 2022, a copy sold for $408.
You can see right there, guys. A sealed copy of Madden 9.2 sold for $480,000. It almost makes you sick.
$80,000. Heritage Auctions really hyped this game up, even including a video explaining how rare and amazing it was. 1 year later, in January of 2023,
So we see right there, graded, hyped, made a video and stuff about it. Within 1 year's time, it went down like $400 and some thousand.
Copy sold for $21,600, a 96% drop in value, and a loss of almost $500,000.
So what he goes on to say in some of these videos beforehand was too is that he's doing these comparisons by the same grade. So this wasn't the same Madden that was bought and sold, but it will be the same valued based on the rating itself, on the 9.2.
In 12 months. Tomb Raider is a classic, the franchise is very popular, and one of the few gaming IPs that transitioned relatively successfully to the big screen, and it all started with the 1996 release on the PlayStation. In July 2021, a 9.4A...
I wish I had it pulled up on Price Charting now to tell you how much this game would cost. I mean, obviously, these games are graded at this point are sealed, so they're brand new. And they're sealed. So I mean, obviously, you can buy this game for probably like $10 or whatever normally. So it's just seeing this much back in 2021, this was sold for $144,000 sealed.
Copy sold for $144,000. 2 years later, a 9.4A++ copy, a copy that has an even better...
And then 2 years later, $5,000, guys. So how would you feel if you were that guy that bought that first time when the hype and everything was built up, and then you were down to, that's...
To grade, sold for just under $5,000, a 97% drop, and a loss of $140,000. And this past weekend, a 9.4A+ copy sold for just $4,000. Resident Evil is another hugely popular franchise. The survival horror series includes some amazing games, and again, it's another gaming franchise that did fairly well after it made the transition into movies. Resident Evil started with the 1996 release on the PlayStation. In October 2021, a copy of the original Resident Evil sold for $264,000. This was the long box variant, which is rarer and attracts a much higher price. Several days ago, on November 3rd, the same copy sold for $38,400, a loss of over $200,000. Now, when I say the same copy, I mean it's literally the same copy. This Resident Evil is from the Dreamer Collection, and we can also tell it's the same copy from the identifier on the back. But what's interesting is that it's even the exact same picture that was used in both auctions. Heritage Auctions always takes photos of the items they receive, so if it's the same photo, that means it never left Heritage Auctions. Yep. Someone bought this game for $264,000, kept it in the Heritage Vault for 2 years, and then sold it for $38,000. I assume they kept it at Heritage because they were hoping to flip it through a later auction.
So, for the people that didn't understand that last part, so somebody bought this game there for $260,000. They decided to store it there because down the road they were expecting to flip it and sell it for more money. But what ended up happening was they bought it for $200,000, stored it there, and decided a year or so later that they were going to auction it off, and they sold it for like $30,000, whatever they said on there. So they lost, close to $200,000. And he was basically explaining to you how you know exactly that was the same one because of the grading. Basically the grading number on there and the picture itself.
For a profit, but boy, did that backfire. And this might not be the only game this person incurred a huge loss on. There were several other games that were also bought in the same auction on the 29th of October 2021 that went up for resale on November 3rd, and they were also the same copy and used the same picture. This almost certainly means they all belong to the same person. October 29, 2021, a Zelda 2 sold for $102,000. Same copy, same picture, sold on November 3rd for $14,400. October 29, 2021, a Russian Attack sold for $43,200. November 3, 2023, same copy, same picture, sold for $7,800. October 2021, a Twisted Metal sold for $87,000. November 2023, it sold for $17,000.
So basically, Karl was going on to say here how he thinks that this one guy really invested in a bunch of games this day back in November 3rd, or back in 2021. Invested in all these games, seeing how the market was suddenly shooting up, and he wanted to get in on this before it got, too expensive. So bought all these games, stored them there, more than likely the same guy he's saying, and then tried to resell them later on, and obviously lost probably hundreds of thousands of dollars, guys. Absolutely insane. It would have been not really nice when this first started off and it's the same. I think Karl goes in other videos and talks about crypto, and people were talking about kind of how that's been working too. There was a huge boom in all the crypto, and then that's kind of backing off now. And just so everybody knows, I'm not an expert in all of this. I'm not an expert in the grading process. I'm not an expert in crypto and stuff like that, but I'm just telling you my general feelings and just kind of what I expect to see. And I've talked about this before in the past, that I'm not, like I said, not a huge fan of WATA and stuff like that. But it is what it is when it comes to people, and this is all part of the process. But Karl called this out a while back. He said that this was going to happen, and I've said it too, because like I said, I've seen it in sports cards, where at one point, everybody thought their sports cards were gold. You were getting, like cool stuff like jersey cards, autographs, getting them graded, getting hundreds of dollars for them. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was like they weren't even really worth it anymore. They weren't even worth printing on the card. They weren't even worth the cardboard they were printed on. And he say, she say. So going forward, what should you guys expect from this? I honestly think we're going to be at a kind of a standstill for a while. I think it's going to probably go like this. Now, there's people in the past that are saying that they think that Karl's actually helping fluctuate the market, kind of control it, and bring more awareness up about it. I'm not 100% sure if that's true, but I can tell you that a lot of his videos talking about this do get, millions of views really freaking fast, and they do help spread awareness for what's going on. Now, I don't personally know his background on this, if he's invested into a lot of video games and stuff and doing this stuff. And like I said, I follow like Get the Grade Games, and he is really into grading things. But, it's just going to be, we saw this coming. I mean, this obviously can't be this forever. And now there's people too that are saying that there's going to be a turnaround too, that pretty soon if the bubble did pop, it will just refill, and then it will just go back up, and these games are going to sell for hundreds of thousands. And I honestly don't see that happening now. If not now, for a while. Obviously, the trends of retro game collecting and stuff like that are, I think, dropping off. You have a lot of collectors and stuff like that are now starting to come around to their senses and selling off a lot of their games, especially ones that really weren't collecting to collect in the first place. They were just collecting because it was kind of a trend or a fad, or, just because of that reason. So we might start seeing game prices dropping off here pretty soon, like I said, especially with, people selling off their collections. But you never know. Like I said, I'm not an expert on this. I don't study the trends. I don't study the charts. I don't study business and stuff like that. For all I know, here in a week or so, these games could jump way back up in price. They could do everything with that, and then I'll just look like I'm dumb. But I've talked about this for a while, guys, and like I said, you'd almost have to be, pretty naive to not know that this was going to happen. Now, do I wish this would happen with the regular market? Yes, I really wish that the regular market bubble would pop so that we can be able to go back to getting video games for $1 or so, but I don't ever know if that will happen as well. I mean, lately prices haven't been too bad. I've been able to pick up video games. Well, actually, I haven't been really picking up video games. You guys know that I've been talking about collection addiction, so I haven't really bought any games in the last few months except for Baldur's Gate 3, because I've really just been focusing on enjoying video games. So yeah, we'll hope that the market bops up. But I really hope you guys like this video today. Like I said, I will give you a link to Karl's video down in the description, and make sure you check out his channel, because this dude does his research. He knows what he's talking about, and he does it on multiple different kinds of genres of videos and stuff too, and he's just very informative, very laid back, very easy to listen to, and like I said, just very smart. Takes the time to do his research, unlike me sometimes. So go ahead and go check out his channel. I hope you guys, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you comment below what you guys think about it. Did you guys get any graded games in the past? Have you thought about picking up any graded games or sending any in? I know at one point I was thinking about sending a couple in just for the fun of it. I have like a sealed copy of Resident Evil Revelations on Wii U and stuff like that, just for something to have that say that I got it graded. Obviously not investing, you know, hundreds into it, hoping I'm going to make a bunch of money, but just something for fun down the road. So let me know if you got anything graded in the past, guys, or if you're thinking about getting anything graded. And, well, as always, stay retro, my friends, and I will see you in the next video.